In today's video, we're going to create a complete 12-color watercolor wheel using just 3 beautiful colors from the Golden Core watercolor line. The 3 colors we'll be using are Hansa Yellow Light, Quinacridone Magenta, and Indanthrone Blue. Color wheel isn't something we just make in art class. It's one of the most valuable learning tools you have. Every time you mix 2 pigments together, you're learning how those colors behave, how transparent they are, how vibrant they are, and whether they create bright, clean mixtures or soft, more muted colors. I've already drawn a 12-section color wheel on watercolor paper, so let's begin by painting our 3 primary colors. Our first color is Hansa Yellow Light. I'll place it at the top of the wheel. The moment this color touches the paper, you can see why it's such a favorite of mine. It's bright, cheerful, and incredibly transparent. Hansa Yellow Light is considered a cool yellow because it leans slightly towards green. Cool yellows generally create cleaner greens than warm yellows. Notice how evenly the color flows across the paper. Core watercolors are known for their beautiful movement, and this pigment creates wonderfully smooth washes without becoming chalky. One of the things I appreciate most about Hansa Yellow Light is how versatile it is. It's perfect for painting fresh spring leaves, young grasses, lemons, daffodils, sunlit fields, bright reflections, and glowing highlights. Let's paint Quinacridone Magenta. Let's place it at the 4 o'clock position. This pigment is absolutely beautiful. It has incredible richness, brilliant transparency, and almost seems to glow from within. Although we often describe it as a cool red, it's really a vibrant magenta that naturally leans towards violet. That makes it one of the finest pigments available for mixing gorgeous purples. There's almost a jewel-like brilliance to this color that's difficult to achieve with many traditional reds. Quinacridone pigments are a favorite of many watercolor artists because they glaze beautifully. If you're someone who enjoys building layers of transparent color, this pigment performs exceptionally well. It keeps its clarity even after several glazes, allowing light to continue reflecting through each layer. This makes it wonderful for roses, peonies, tulips, berries, sunsets, colorful fabrics, hummingbirds, butterflies, and botanical subjects. The final primary color is Indanthrone Blue. I'll paint it at the 8 o'clock position. This is one of those colors that quietly surprises people. At first glance, it appears almost black in the palette, but once water is added, an incredibly rich transparent blue begins to appear. Unlike phthalo blue, which is very bright and intense, or ultramarine blue, which granulates beautifully, Indanthrone Blue has a soft, velvety richness that creates wonderful depth. It's considered a warm blue because it leans slightly toward violet. That makes it especially useful for mixing purples and atmospheric shadow colors. Notice how dark the masked stone appears. Even though it's very deep, it still remains transparent enough for watercolor techniques like glazing and layering. As it becomes more diluted, it transforms into smoky blue washes and are perfect for skies, distant mountains, lakes, ocean water, evening shadows, and dramatic landscapes. It's a wonderfully elegant pigment with a quiet sophistication that's difficult to duplicate. Now that our primary colors are in place, we can begin creating the secondary colors. These are made by mixing equal amounts of 2 neighboring primary colors. This is where the real magic begins. Let's begin with mixing orange. I'll combine equal parts of Hansa Yellow Light with Quinacridone Magenta. Right away, you'll notice that this isn't a bright pumpkin orange. Instead, it's a soft coral orange with a gentle glow. That's because our yellow leans towards green, while our magenta leans towards violet. Neither pigment naturally points towards orange, so each slightly neutralizes the other. Rather than seeing this as a disadvantage, I actually consider it one of the palette's strengths. This softer orange is incredibly useful. It's wonderful for portraits because it creates natural skin tones. Now let's mix violet. I'll combine equal parts of Quinacridone Magenta and Indanthrone Blue. This is probably my favorite mixture of the entire wheel. Both pigments naturally lean towards violet, so instead of canceling each other out, they reinforce one another beautifully. The result is an incredibly rich, transparent purple. Notice how saturated it appears without losing that luminous watercolor quality. This mixture can easily move from delicate lavender all the way to dramatic royal purple simply by adjusting the water. It's perfect for irises, lavender fields, lilacs, hydrangeas, pansies, evening skies, mountain shadows, and floral paintings. Many artists purchase convenience violet colors, but this mixture is often even more beautiful because it has such remarkable depth. Now let's create green. I'll combine equal amounts of Hansa Yellow Light and Indanthrone Blue. Notice how natural this green looks. It isn't the bright artificial green we often associate with beginner watercolor sets. Instead, it already resembles colors we see in nature. Because Indanthrone leans slightly towards violet, it gently softens the mixture. The result is a deep woodland green that's ideal for landscapes. These greens work beautifully for evergreen trees, forest scenes, moss-covered rocks, shrubs, shaded foliage, and natural vegetation. Many landscape painters actually prefer this type of green because it rarely needs much adjustment before using it in a painting. Now we'll finish the wheel by creating the 6 tertiary colors. These colors bridge the gap between the primary and secondary colors. They're often the colors we use most because nature is filled with subtle transitions rather than pure hues. Between yellow and orange, let's add yellow-orange. It leans more towards Hansa Yellow Light. This creates a warm golden yellow. This creates a warm golden yellow that's full of sunshine. It's beautiful for wheat fields, golden flowers, sandy beaches, autumn grasses, and glowing highlights. The extra yellow keeps the mixture fresh and cheerful, while still maintaining its soft coral influence. Next is red-orange. This time I'll increase the amount of Quinacridone Magenta. Watch how just a small adjustment completely changes the mixture. Instead of golden warmth, we begin seeing beautiful salmon, coral, and peachy tones. These colors are wonderful for roses, flamingos, sunsets, peaches, and warm floral paintings. One of the biggest lessons a color wheel teaches is that tiny changes in mixing ratios can produce surprisingly different results. Now I'll mix red-violet by adding more Quinacridone Magenta. This creates a brilliant raspberry color that's incredibly vibrant. The transparency of quinacridone pigments allows this mixture to glow while still remaining rich. It's perfect for begonias, orchids, berries, colorful fabrics, floral illustrations, and expressive watercolor work. This is definitely one of those colors that immediately attracts the viewer's eye. Between violet and blue, I'll increase the amount of Indanthrone Blue. The mixture becomes deeper, cooler, and wonderfully atmospheric. This color reminds me of twilight skies and distant mountain ranges. It's ideal for cool shadows, reflections in water, stormy clouds, and peaceful landscape scenes. The depth of Indanthrone blue gives this mixture remarkable elegance. Next, we'll paint blue-green. I'll simply add more Indanthrone blue to our green mixture. Instead of becoming tropical turquoise, this develops into a rich blue-green with a wonderfully natural appearance. It's perfect for evergreen forests, deep rivers, shaded lakes, pine trees, and cool woodland scenes. Because it's slightly subdued, it fits perfectly into landscape paintings without looking overly bright. Finally, we'll paint yellow-green. I'll increase the amount of Hansa Yellow Light. Immediately the mixture becomes brighter and more energetic. This is the color of fresh spring leaves, new grass, young garden plants, and sunlight filtering through foliage. It's cheerful, lively, and full of life. Even though we're working with only 3 pigments, we've created an expressive range of greens simply by changing the proportions. And there we have our completed 12-color watercolor wheel. Take a moment to look at the entire wheel as a whole. Isn't it amazing how much variety we've created using only 3 paints? What I love most about this exercise is that every section tells us something about the personality of the pigments. Hansa Yellow Light gives us bright luminous yellows and beautiful natural greens. Quinacridone Magenta provides glowing pinks, coral mixes, and stunning violets. Indanthrone Blue contributes remarkable depth, atmospheric blues, rich purples, and beautifully subdued landscape greens. Together they create a palette that's especially well suited for florals, landscapes, seascapes, wildlife, and expressive watercolor work. One of the biggest lessons this exercise teaches that there really are no good or bad mixtures. Some combinations create vivid colors, others produce beautifully muted colors. Both are valuable. Nature is filled with subtle color, and often those quieter mixtures become the most useful ones in a painting. The more often you create exercises like this, the more instinctive color mixing becomes. Eventually, you won't have to guess which colors to combine, you'll simply know. And that confidence makes painting so much more enjoyable. Thank you so much for being here. Until next time, make art, have fun.